3, 2, 1, and action.
The Ninja Turtles actually originated in the Eastman and Laird comics as very hardcore vigilantes. And so I thought the opportunity here that I hadn't really seen in the past films was to make them even more badass than I'd seen them before.
Dude.
In reinventing the Turtles this time, if we made them a little larger than life, a little darker in their design, they could be fun and badass at the same time.
Allow me to be the badass for once.
And so that was sort of the inspiration going forward. And it just felt different in a good way and felt like a worthy addition to the canon.
Come on!
You know, I grew up with Ninja Turtles, and what's so great is with today's technology, we've been able to update the Turtles and give them a scope that they've never had before.
We all sat down and thought about how important it was for this movie to be a character movie and how important the performances were. So for about 6-7 months, took every one of the scenes and thought about, how to actually make it possible on the set. I think previs in the sequence is really, really important for the kind of visual effects movie that we're making.
A lot of times you have to previs a scene so you know exactly what to shoot and you don't waste a lot of time on set.
Some of the previs has been going on for years, just planning and coming up with shot designs and stuff like that. So it's a pretty integral part, and it's also very helpful in planning the shoot.
I think Jonathan is really good about taking a look at those scenes and placing cameras where he needs to and experimenting a little bit. Some of the things do change right there and they become funnier or more emotional. And so you want to be able to, even though you're going by a previs, to be able to be flexible enough to change something.
Poor Leo, April, and that other guy.
We thought with the amazing stuff Michael did with the robots and Transformers, we could do the same and bring the Turtles into a CG world where they can do anything. We don't have to have guys running around in suits that are limited.
I think the way to sell visual effects as much as possible is to have as much reality in the frame as you can have. And it was important to us to always have actors in the frame who were the Ninja Turtles, as well as stunt people doing the martial arts so that the animators were matching something real as opposed to something imaginary in their head.
I think the most challenging thing is getting those performances, the turtle performances, to read really well and to tell the story that they need to tell.
The technology was very new to us. The idea of motion capturing all of the actors and then turning them into CG turtles later.
Motion capture is a process by which you take an actor's performance and translate it into a computer so that the computer can take that actual performance and put it onto any character or creature that the computer has created.
Whoa, chill. It's just a mask. See? Don't freak out. Right?
We're really acting these parts out. We're shooting a scene like we're shooting a movie, and then they're using this unbelievable technology to transfer what we've done and turn it into a turtle.
See, she's looking at us like we're freaks.
Don't be afraid. All will be made clear.
We did a lot of research. We're working with ILM, who does all the robots on the Transformers movies, and it worked out perfectly. We take our guys, we put them in the motion capture suits, put the cameras on their heads, and Megan, plays April O'Neil, is able to act with the guys playing the Turtles.
It's so nice to have a living, breathing human being there that will improv, that will switch things up, that will mess up, because you find really great things in those moments. And that brings life to something that, you know, wouldn't be possible if I was just interacting with a giant pole and a tennis ball.
Come with me. I got a safe place for you to hide, and if you get thirsty, I got a secret stash of Orange Crush behind the fridge. Don't tell Raph.
I'm really glad that we get to work with them in their suits, not just tennis balls on the end of sticks, because we do actually get to work with other actors, and the guys can ride their skateboards and do these tricks and have these fight scenes. It's pretty amazing.
You're a talking turtle.
Yeah, I'm a talking turtle. And you're a human nerd. Now that we got that out of the way, hit it.
I think it worked better for everybody. They were all able to work with each other, and everyone is communicating with each other in the scenes, in the shots. You have someone to play off of. It's not someone reading dialogue off camera. April is literally looking at Leonardo, and he's talking back to her, even though he's not a 6'5", huge giant turtle yet, but he will be.
Then for the animators, I think it's good because you have a very scientific reference of what the actor is performing to and what kind of choices he's making.
Having a performance that's given by somebody in the moment on set gives you unified facial motions, body motions, voice. Everything all comes together cohesively and also allows for that sort of impromptu dialogue changes, whatever, just those nuanced expressions that can come through that are just very natural.
Bam! System disabled. Who wants Italian? I'm buying. Tiramisu for everybody.
What the stunt performers and actors had to wear were these motion tracking suits, which have many different markers and patterns for animators to track their movements with. And on their faces, we used a brand new technology that used 2 HD cameras to track every single muscle movement on the face, including their tongue, their eyes, their teeth, things that had never been tracked before, so we could get an extra level of reality when we translated their performance into the computer graphics world.
People keep telling me I have dots on my face, and I don't know what they're talking about.
Action.
We were trying to make the characters as real as possible, and that's the reason why we went with facial performance that was so high resolution and so scientific.
So the dots in the face are part of the technology in the motion capture, and they work in conjunction with the helmet mounts that we wear.
Jawline of a god.
So all the movements, these dots allow animators to grab, to track, and create them in ways that are uniquely yours. And that's what goes into this amazing technology and this amazing reiteration of these characters.
In our case, 2 HD cameras capture what somebody's doing with their face. And by placing, 180 tracking markers on somebody's face, the 2 video HD cameras capture that information, and then that gets put into a digital version of the actor.
We have developed a number of new technologies directly for this film. The facial capture has been done before, but what we've done is we've taken it to the next level. It's a fairly complicated process with having to capture that performance targeted onto a digital representation of that actor, then retarget it onto the turtle from there.
Well, miss, we're ninjas.
We're mutants.
Well, technically, we're turtles.
Oh, and we're teenagers, but we can still have adult conversations.
You get the essence of wonder in this, and it's not through the dialogue necessarily that you're sensing that, but it's, how the eyes react, that's the subtle movements of the mouth.
So when the actor blinks, you want the turtle to blink. When the actor, shakes his head and smiles, you want the turtle to do the same thing.
I'm going out on my own. First chance I get.
Oh, we gotta finish our hip-hop Christmas album, bro. You're the hype man. Yo,
Shut up.
The reason for having the cameras so close to their face is that you want to capture as much of the actor's face as possible. So you want to see the actor's face in view at all times.
It kind of dawned on us from the beginning that these 4 characters were going to carry the movie together with the actors. It was really important that we got the performances that we needed.
We'll find you, O'Neill. I'm sorry, that came across super creepy, okay? We will find you though.
It's cutting edge to take the characters in the mocap suits and put them in a real environment. But I didn't want it to feel like something that we could have made 5 years ago. So what we did is we did take the characters out into real locations and have real lighting real sunlight on them, and the guys who played the turtles, they created those characters.
Being a turtle really came to life for us when we got to set, and then they handed us our shells to put on. When you put that shell on and you just feel that weight behind you and kind of the way it manipulates the way you walk, the way you move, it shapes and informs everything that you do.
Everything has a purpose. You're like, why are there triangles in the fabric on my arm? Like, why is it this texture and why are there dots on my face? To know what everything does and how they're going to utilize that to be able to create this technology and imagery, it's cool.
Really exciting that the technology exists now to take them out of the rubber suits and make them real turtles.
There was a few different processes involved. One of them when we're shooting, interacting with Megan and Will on the actual physical sets, and then there was another part that we had done at ILM.
ILM has a very sophisticated technology and room and suit that the actor wears, and the computer can actually read every single movement that the actor is making. And once it can read all those movements, it can almost cut and paste that performance and put it onto a Ninja Turtle.
There are actual balls on our suits, and we're able to run around basically a white blank stage that has over 130 some cameras pinpointed all around the room, and that's taking every movement that we do in that physical space and mapping it so that they can recreate us in any environment that they want to.
MC Mikey. MC Ray.
We knew that the martial arts were going to be a challenge, and so what we did was we got, a real fight choreographer to come on set and choreograph real fights with stunt guys. And the challenge for us in animation was taking that, and because the turtles were bigger and more powerful and stronger, we would take the stuff that was shot and we would, exaggerate their jumps or exaggerate their punches, make their spins go twice as fast, or maybe make their kicks be twice as big, just so they had more impact and they felt more like superheroes.
When you put the fights together, you also take into consideration the weaknesses and strengths of those characters. So the turtles need to be able to use their weapons in a ninja way, and they're very peculiar about their ways of using their weapons.
Let's rock and roll, boys.
There are 4 different characters. Every one of them likes a specific thing, that everybody fights or acts or behaves in a specific way.
When we designed the turtles for the movie, just thinking about trying to make them look real, we kind of externalized their personalities into their physical appearance. So we tried to make their shape and their size, different, so that when you see them in silhouette, you can identify each turtle.
That blows me away because I look at those shots and it feels real.
We're doing these sort of exotic creatures that have to have their own look and feel, which we get a lot of it through motion capture, but it's also a lot of hand artistry from all different disciplines to make it look right. We start with the skin of the creature, which is like a clay model in a way, and you want to be able to move it and make sure the skin looks good, that the muscles flex right, that the costumes follow the performance. Where there's wind or a breeze blowing through, we have to make sure that, especially with the turtles, the tails of their masks blow in the breeze. And it's just adding those kind of details to help the primary animation or the motion capture performance look real.
I think one of the things that grabbed me early on was seeing the concept art of the turtles and just kind of picturing them in their environment, and realizing, okay, they're gonna be down in the sewers. They're gonna be in some cool situations.
Johnny!
I think one of the challenges with characters like these is that they're based on cartoons. And so the challenge there is when you're making a realistic movie that's going to be live action, you have to figure out how to make these characters realistic and photoreal. So you have to figure out how to make them kind of fit in our world. They were going to have to perform very subtle, nuanced performances, and they were also going to have to be able to do, big, broad action scenes. So we just had to add a lot of details and a lot of realism to their faces and to their bodies, to the texture. We had to add nostrils so they could breathe, and they needed lips so that they could speak.
I ain't going back to the Hashi.
Every time we're in the Hashi, it's because of you.
Well, bro, you won't have to worry about me dragging you down anymore.
So I think the idea is to separate these characters into 4 completely definable beings, and I think they did.
You had a lot to gain from telling people about us, but you had our backs.
So that's what family's for, Raph.
The turtles look very cool. All 4 of us just had the same reaction. We were like, those look better than anything we could have imagined them looking like. That's exactly what you want.
It's truly the frontier of movie making, this technology. So it's been great to be part of it and to experiment with it. I mean, down to opening the mouth, raising an eyebrow, sticking out your tongue. It's all gonna register.
I think the biggest thing that's going to wow the audience is going to be the fact that the turtles look so photorealistic that they're going to think that it's somebody in costume or suits, and they're going to think, wow, the makeup was really well done.
Sweet. And I just can't stop looking at them and just thinking, how did we do this?
At the end of the day, we hope that the fans from every generation are able to look at this movie and feel that we gave them what they wanted and something more.
It was all about story and characters while we were working with the technology and the design of the turtles and how we were going to update this movie. Because we wanted the turtles to have a fresh look. We wanted them to feel different. This was a new movie. We wanted this to be its own.
To bring one character to life in this film takes an entire team of people. You have the actor performing, you have the stuntman who performs the martial arts part of the performance, you have the artists who are going to translate the performance into the computer graphics world, you have the animators, the renderers, the compositors. It's an entire team of people just to bring one performance to life. It's incredible.
No matter the risk, you live, you fight as brothers.